Active volcanoes, a threat or an opportunity? With over 1,500 active volcanoes in the world, we are eventually bound to stumble over one while traveling. What should we do? Cancel our plans? Or run there to take a selfie? A volcano can be classified as active by different criteria. Nevertheless, about 50 erupt daily, right now as we speak. Let's lift the uncertainty veil and look deeper into our world's volcanoes. Q&A. Can we predict when volcanoes are going to erupt? Scientists are developing algorithms based on past volcanic eruptions that can at least give the population a few days of early warning to evacuate. Training machines to predict eruptions needs pre-existing information and can only be done for volcanoes with sufficient activity and data. Predictions of future volcanic action are made by watching the ground shake, swell, rumble, and fume. What causes a volcano to awaken? Each volcano tells its own story. Its location on shaky ground, such as a shifting fault line, increases its probability of erupting, while frequent earthquakes herald possible future volcanic activity. What damages can a volcano cause? Less violent eruptions can disrupt daily life, blocking roads and cutting off utilities. Potentially more harmful effects are lightning, toxic gases, ashes and fumes, which can cause life-threatening health problems. Volcanic plumes are known to rise up to several kilometers and hang on sometimes for months. During major volcanic events, lava can cover whole towns, causing loss of property and loss of life, as well as altering the geography of an area. How predictable is the flow of lava? Volcanic activity can happen after decades or centuries of inactivity, with little data available to draw comparisons. Newer fissures in the Earth's crust or craters changing shape over time can alter a volcano's old patterns. Accumulation of hot magma underground can cause unpredictable events. Current climate conditions can as well influence the extent of the damages. Volcanic eruptions through layers of ice or water are significantly more severe, since they expel way more fine ash particles into the atmosphere and can trigger floods. What immediate measures are required in case of a violent eruption? Immediate evacuation is paramount, as fast as possible, plus providing first aid services. Affected areas are declared disaster zones, and professional equipment and emergency personnel intervene to offer relief. What preventive measures can we take when visiting an active volcanic area? In 2023-24, one of Iceland's active volcanoes started to spew lava after having been dormant for 800 years, putting at risk locals in the town of Grindavik. The area was thus evacuated permanently. What remains to do is to stay alert and treat Mother Nature with the respect it is due. Wear a protective gear and a face mask. Have a wet cloth handy. Walk away perpendicularly to the wind and avoid low areas where more fumes and ashes accumulate. And most importantly, visit local websites with additional information prior to your trip for guidelines and warnings. Types of volcanism. Understanding the nature of a volcano can help raise awareness. Volcanoes can erupt for many reasons. Let's dig a bit deeper. Submarine volcanism happens along the rift zones bordering the tectonic plates. These rifts are where volcanoes were historically formed at the bottom of our oceans. When shifting, either colliding or separating, the rifts cause eruptions, spilling lava from the magma strata of the Earth's core. 3/4 of all volcanic activity happens underwater without you and me ever knowing. The mid-ocean ridge is the largest chain of mountains on Earth, 65,000 kilometers long, underwater, wrapping around the tectonic plates that are spreading apart. Its highest peaks rise above water, like in Iceland for example, and its valleys can go 10 kilometers deep, the deepest trenches in the world being the Kuril-Kamchatka, the Philippines, the Tonga and the Mariana Trenches. The cluster of a half-dozen ridges in the Indian Ocean, plus the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and the East Pacific Rise are some of the most notorious parts of this mountain chain called the Ring of Fire. When two tectonic plates collide and one slips under the other, it reaches hotter sections of the mantle, causing hot fluids to be released toward the surface, forming arcs of volcanic islands and causing violent volcanic eruptions. Such events, for example, happen in the Mediterranean, in and around the most stunning islands of Greece and Italy. Supposedly, Europe is sliding under Africa at a rather high speed of 70 millimeters per year. One other form of volcanic activity is hotspot volcanism, which is triggered by magma plumes rising from the Earth's deep mantle through the shallow mantle, causing it to melt and erupt. Older such volcanoes tend to die out and form, over time, string of islands or hotspot tracts, such as the islands of Hawaii and Samoa in the Pacific or the Canary Islands in the Atlantic, which consist of both older and younger active hotspot volcanoes. Since this explosive activity happens closer to the surface through water layers, it can be very dangerous to life around them, causing, aside from lava and gases, also landslides and tsunamis. 2,000 years of major volcanic activity. Mount Tambora's eruption in 1815 is recorded as the strongest and deadliest in the last 2,000 years, with an explosive index of 7, with a direct death toll of over 10,000 people, plus a tenfold toll in the aftermath. Trailing, devastating events happened at the Vesuvius in Italy in 79 AD, Hatep in New Zealand in 232, Betku China, North Korea in 946, Samalas in Indonesia in 1257, Huayna Putina, Peru in 1600, Krakatoa, Indonesia in 1883, Santa Maria, Guatemala in 1902, Nova Rupata, Alaska in 1912, Mount St. Helen, Washington State, USA, 1980, El Chinchón, Mexico, 1982, Nevada de Ruiz, Colombia, in 1985, and Mount Pinatubo, the Philippines, in 1991. Recent and current volcanic activity, following the string of the most powerful volcanic eruptions known to us, is the mightiest eruption of this decade, the Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai volcano by Tonga, an underwater eruption and tsunami from 2022, with an explosive index of 5, which caused a 30 kilometers high cloud. Its sound was heard 10,000 kilometers away, and its pressure waves traveled around the globe. Volcán de Fuego in Guatemala and the Sunda Straits tsunami in Indonesia, both happening in 2018, are recorded as the deadliest in recent years. The very hyper Volcán de Fuego has erupted over 60 times in the last centuries. The tsunami in Indonesia was caused by the underwater collapse of a portion of the Krakatoa volcano into its caldera, causing hundreds of deaths and thousands of injuries. Krakatoa, the fire mountain, has a nefarious history, with 7 major eruptions between the 9th and the 16th century, plus its more recent devastating events from 1883, and later in 2018 causing landslides and loss of life. Currently, Indonesia is dealing with the eruption of the Mount Ruang volcano in 2024, with a plume of 23 kilometers and a volcanic explosivity index of 4. Shiveluch, Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, a volcano that has been recently very active in 23-24, has produced a 20 kilometers high cloud of gas and ash, and a pyroclastic flow of gas and particles traveling at high speeds on the ground for 19 kilometers. It has previously erupted in 1854, 1964, 1999, and 2024. The last eruption was caused by the collapse of its lava dome, which released massive amounts of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. In Iceland, the eruption of the Eyjafjallajökull, say that 3 times, volcano in 2010 caused the worst air traffic disruption since World War II, with 107,000 flight cancellations amounting to 48% of all air traffic in the world. The Puyehue-Corncaul eruption in Chile, with an index of 5 from 2011, is also known to have caused major air traffic disruptions throughout the southern hemisphere. The Taal volcano in the Philippines had an explosive eruption in 2020, causing ashes to rain on Manila, the capital, and other major urban areas. Noteworthy recent powerful volcanoes causing trouble are the Wakari in New Zealand, Stromboli, Italy, Ulawun, Papua New Guinea, and La Soufrière in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, all active in 2019. the underwater volcano Fukutoku Okanoba in Japan, and the Mount Semera volcano in Indonesia, with a plume of ashes over 12 kilometers high, both erupting in 2021, and the Popocatépetl, Mexico's second tallest volcano, active in 2022, among many others. Effusive eruptions are characterized by an abundant flow of low-viscosity lava covering extensive grounds. Here are a few that occurred in major travel destinations. The La Cumbre Vieja and the Tagoro volcanoes in the Canary Islands erupted both as recently as 2021. In 2017, magma exploded through snow at Etna, Italy's most active volcano. Currently both the Etna in Sicily and the Stromboli Island volcano recorded eruptions in July 2024. The Sundhnúkur volcano in Iceland has been active in 23-24, with the latest and rather significant event happening in March 2024. Mauna Loa, Hawaii, had its last effusive eruption in 2022. Kilauea, also in Hawaii, became active after a major earthquake in 2018, producing a very destructive lava flow in an event considered to be the second strongest after Mount St. Helens in 1980, U.S. mainland's most destructive volcanic eruption on record. Kilauea started being active in 1983, and its last eruption was in June 2024. The question of to go or not to go and gawk up close at an active volcano can't be easily answered. Each location has its own specialists, guidelines, rules and regulations. Often, volcanic events are listed as touristic attractions, a decision made by the local entities in charge. My preferred way of viewing these impressive displays of the power of Mother Nature is from the International Space Station, a place I will never ever reach. Thus, their captured images will have to do in this lifetime. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please don't smash any buttons. Just gently like and subscribe for more. The world is vast and it's all yours. Next time, you might also want to fall in love with this next destination over there. Thank you.